We are live. Hi,
Yay! Hi, Sophie.
Patty. How are you?
I'm good, honey. How are you?
Good, good, good. Okay, so we had some technical difficulties, but now I think we got it. So I am Sophie Robert. I'm Sophie Robert, and I am very, very pleased to have with me today Patty Alfonso. Hi, Patty.
Hello.
So we are both facilitators of Access Consciousness, and we are here today to chat and talk about creating your own reality. How does it get any better than
Yay!
that? So yeah, I decided to take you guys outside because my office is too dark, and I just wanted to be outside among nature a little bit. So funny
That,
noises.
that adds a really yummy, delicious energy to the call. So thank you for doing that.
So so Patty, how's your reality going?
Man, my reality continues to expand beyond anything that I had ever thought possible before I started using the Access Consciousness tools. And right now, it's just like in the middle of one of those changes and shifts that, thank goodness, I
Uh-huh.
have all of the Access tools available to me to navigate this really awesome time in my life that I'm going through right now. It's I was talking to my friend Shannon the other day, and she was saying how once we kind of get through those shifts and changes, you have more of you available. And so I'm really, really kind of happy and excited about that. And then once I continue to have more of me available, then what can I create from there? So I'm really excited for everything that's happening right now in my life. How's your
Yes.
reality, Sophie?
Well, actually, it's also a little bit like you. I feel there's a lot of shifts and changes, and it's been interesting to be part of that really big energy. So actually, I just got a quick little video with Gary and Dane, and they were talking about the lies of reality. And
Mm.
it really struck me how I buy my reality as real, you know, like that this thing that I cannot change, or I may be able to change it, but it's going to be hard, or it's going to be, you know, it's going to take something out of me. And I was really looking at all that because sometimes I don't even realize that I am making this reality more real than it needs to be. So to me, like, this discussion is really appropriate because it feels like, what am I still looking at that's solid, you know, that is that in
Yeah.
my head won't change. I know you and I recently we've had conversations where you're like, hold on, wait a second, what's that energy? And I was like, wow, I actually had not seen that there was an energy coming up. I was talking and you were like, hold on, back up, back up. So
What's that? What have you solidified, Sophie? What is this?
and it was like such a random thing. Like, I don't know, like I was a band and you're like, so why have you decided that you're gonna meet that friend or something like of course, like it's logical. I'm gonna meet, you know, like just things that I don't really question. So so that's one thing that I wanted to discuss was, you know, what are we not looking at? What are we not discussing? What are we not considering can change? Like, I'm looking at the ground right now. The ground looks solid.
Mm,
Is it solid?
mm,
Or can it change?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I love the most about Access, and that's what happens like when facilitators, at least with me, we get together and chat, is that we stay in the question. So
Yeah.
everything is a question. Anything that's coming up, well, what is that? And is this something that you can change? And what is it that you're making real about this? I love that you brought up, you know, everything in this reality. We create our own reality. You create your own reality. I create my own reality. My roommate creates her own reality. Everybody creates their own reality. And it's created on the choices and the questions that we start asking. So, I love that you're bringing up the ground. Like, my ex-boyfriend was living in a house, and their yard was like dead. And they kept looking at the yard, and they're like, oh, the grass died. And I was just like, well, what else is possible? And we moved some energy, and we kind of gave some love to the earth, and it regenerated. It came back. So everything is possible. Anything is possible when you stay in the question and when you continue to ask questions. And the earth, this universe, is continuously gifting to us. So
Yes.
are we able to receive it? Can we ask from the universe to gift us with something, and can we receive that? So there's so much that the tools of Access Consciousness have contributed to me, to my life, to me creating my own reality, whether I'm creating crap or whether I'm creating awesomeness. It's all, the choices that I have made and the changes that I have created. So
okay. Yeah, and this is where the magic happens. So let's back up a little bit, because you said a word that I perceive some people had energy on. Receiving. You said receiving, right? So what are we receiving? So when I started doing Access, I thought I knew what receiving meant. I totally knew what receiving was.
Yes. Oh,
and
yeah. I received, totally.
Yeah, I received. That's not a problem. And then Gary and Dane kept talking about it. I'm like, what are they? Why isn't anybody getting this? It's so simple, right? And then I realized, oh, wait a second. Am I really receiving, or am I deciding what I'm going to receive and then throw at rest? Or am I really receiving, or am I actually making everything that I think I'm receiving significant? Because to me, receiving now is about, oh, this is cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh, how about that? But not about mine, like, woo, I got this, I got that. Like that, I thought that was receiving for a long time. And now I'm like, oh, there's a tree. Oh, there's water. Oh, there's air. Like, just the flow and the space of everything.
Yeah, receiving from the tree, receiving from the earth, receiving from air. That's probably like one of my most favorite ways of receiving. And I talk about this a lot, just like allowing the earth to gift you, to make love to you, is what I like to say, which is, and as you're sitting outside and you're sitting in front of this fountain and you're receiving the yumminess from the water and the yumminess from the tree that you're sitting under and the yumminess from the wind. I mean, there's so many ways in which we can receive from the universe, from the earth, from other people. And when we start lowering our barriers and our boundaries, and we really step into that really yummy, vulnerable place, then what we can receive is limitless. And what would it take? What would it take for all of us to lower our barriers and let go of all of our limitations and be the energy of like simultaneously gifting and receiving to each other, to the earth? I mean, what would it take for that to show up? Anything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
Okay, so there was an energy that came up that it's beyond what we think is possible.
Totally.
Right? So it's like I used to work with goals before, and my goal is this. But when we say my goal is this, then we already have decided what we're going to receive, and therefore we're shutting down everything else that's possible.
Yeah.
So instead of a question, hey, what else can I receive? Or I wonder, what would it take to have that, or something even greater? Okay, so receiving. Gosh.
You know, can I add to that? What's been coming up for me a lot in the last few weeks in terms of receiving is, and I remember Gary talked about this in a level 2, 3 or something, about this generation of women that grew up with parents who were just like, you have to be independent and you have to have your own stuff and you have to take care of yourself and you have to, so like I had this sort of barrier armor of like, I can do this myself and I can take care of myself and I am this independent, fierce woman and I got this, and that's great and that's amazing. Yes, please be willing to take care of yourself and honor yourself and do what you need to do, but can you also be willing to receive someone else caring for you and someone else, contributing to you? And I started kind of chipping away at that using, what else is possible and how does it get better than this and what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to change this? And I started noticing subtle things, like I'm having a bars class and this participant called me and she's like, I've got some extra chairs, should I bring them? And I was just like, no, we'll be fine. And then I was like, wait a minute, receive the chairs. I do need extra chairs.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, that would be awesome. Please bring the extra chairs. That's amazing. And then, then all of these people are starting to show up in my life that are willing to contribute to me. And that's part of receiving as well. It's just like, hey, I'm here, and I'd love to contribute to you and contribute to me. And what else is possible? How can we contribute to each other? So there's a lot there for the energy of receiving that is quite potent.
Yes. So if we were to create our own reality with receiving, what would that be like? So for like when I say that, for me, one instance that keeps coming up is, Christmas time. I love to give gifts to people. And the last couple of years, I have not gotten many gifts. My gifts, there were less gifts that I received than I get. But I realized I was actually very happy about everything. Like there was no weirdness, there was no wackiness in my universe. It was exactly what I wanted to create, because my reality is when I give a gift to somebody, what I receive in exchange is amazing. Like the end, what I get, from giving a gift to somebody, that's pretty cool for me. And so my reality was, it's not about the exchange. It's not about because I give you this, you give me that. Hold on. It's really about just what, like you said, what I can contribute in a way that is simultaneous in energy, but not necessarily in kind,
Yeah.
And that's been such an amazing gift from Access, because now it's very hard to make anything wrong.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like my heart has been racing the last few weeks. I've been very tired and my heart has been racing, and I was making it wrong, like, what should I do? Maybe I need to sleep more and all of that. And then my friend asked me, so what are you excited about? And I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart is excited. I totally forgot. Heart racing, excited. That's awesome. Like, totally changed everything.
I love what being in the question creates. I love what asking questions creates. It just opens the energy. It just opens the energy for a totally new possibility that maybe neither of us or anyone was ever really aware of. That's one of my favorite things about Access, is just keep on asking questions.
Yes. Okay, so can we go a little bit dirty?
Yes.
So when you said that, so I was thinking like a couple, about what one person wants to have sex with the other one. If they don't ask the question of the other person, hey, do you want to have sex? Then there's this weird funky thing, like one person is imposing their desire on the other. But when you ask a question, it's an actual invitation.
Yeah.
So that will open up even more than just be like, hey, I want to have sex, let's do it, you know?
Yeah. And we're a couple, and you're my partner, and this is what we're supposed to do. So let's get on it.
Yeah, exactly. What about just, hey, would you like to? How fun could that be? You know?
Ooh, tons of fun.
Yeah,
and even, I mean, even with sex, there's questions that can be asked, you know, like, will this be fun? Will this person be grateful? Will this be a contribution to me? And checking in with your body. You know, body, would you like to have sex with this person? Asking those kinds of questions can also open up the energy and give you more, you know, information.
Are you perceiving this person wanting to have sex with you?
Are you what?
Are you perceiving that this person wants to have sex with you?
Yeah.
Because that's also, you know, so, okay, basic tool of access, 98% of our thoughts, feelings, emotions are not ours. And when we feel horny, ask the question, is this mine or somebody else's? Because you're not the only one who feels horny, and maybe somebody else. And I remember one day I was like, I don't understand why, you know, this partner, why sex was so bad. And then somebody asked me, so when you were turned on, did you ask if this was yours or his? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Like, I was perceiving how much they wanted to have sex with me, not how much I wanted to have sex with them.
Yeah. Someone, you know, who was I talking to that brought this up? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Patty, are you perceiving like everyone? And I was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, that's like the energy of the access tools. It's just like, how did I not know this before?
Oh my gosh. Why did I wake up super sad? Oh, wait. Robin Williams, like the day that Robin Williams passed away, I woke up like super, super sad. And I thought it was my problem. And then I go on Facebook and then I see her. I'm like, oh, well, now I know why I woke up super sad.
Yeah.
You know? And so my friend goes to a restaurant. She eats something she always eats. Suddenly her stomach hurts. She's like, oh, my stomach hurts. I'm like, your stomach or somebody else's stomach? Oh, yeah, maybe it's somebody else's stomach. So I love this, but this is such a critical part of creating our reality, because to create our reality, we have to differentiate our desires from other people's desires. Or what works for us, you know, independent from what works for others.
Absolutely. And that's, you know, that's one of the, in foundation level 1, it's one of the places that we start really going into. Is this your reality, or is this your family's reality? Is this your point of view, or is this your family's point of view? Or is it your boyfriend's point of view? And really, I love what you just said, just really starting to look at what is mine and what belongs to someone else. And if we say that 98% of thoughts, feelings, and emotions belong to other people, then hello, return all that to sender, and then what is there? Where do you begin to create your reality based on what it is that you would like to have, rather than what other people impose on you and what their projections are and what their expectations are of you? And starting to clear all of that stuff away really creates the space for you to just create whatever it is that you would like to create. And that's been so helpful for me in the last few years since I started doing Access, for sure.
Yes. So you said something. You said clearing away, and you know, we use a lot of clearings in Access. There's a lot of very potent clearings. But one thing that I always tell people is, it doesn't matter how many clearings you're going to do, if you don't choose it, you'll keep having what you're having. So it's the clearings work. Oh my gosh, they work. They work so well once you are ready to choose something different. And that's the beauty of Access. We don't do anything to you at all. We just give you the tools to change it if you choose to.
Exactly. Yes. And in my, what I've noticed using the clearings and using, you know, like you kind of get up to this place where you start hitting a wall around something,
Yeah.
whether it's some kind of like automatic response that you just have been doing or being your entire life. And using the clearings starts to sort of soften that, so that in that moment you are aware that you have a different choice. And in that moment, you can choose. I've done it. Oh, I'm going to keep choosing what I was choosing before because that is what works for me right now, you know? Or here's the space to be like, oh, I can choose something different here. You know, and I was actually pondering this earlier today because I grew up and most of my life, like, okay, I'm going to go to college and then I'm going to meet someone and I'm going to get married and I'm going to have kids and then I'm going to buy a house and I'm going to have da-da. And then I started using the Access tools and I started really asking a lot of questions about that. And then it turned out that my reality is like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to get married and have kids and like own a house. Like, that does not resonate with me at all. What is fun and joyful for me is traveling, doing workshops, working with people, like really being out there in the world. And so I had to really look at the pattern, I guess, that had been imposed upon me through my family and through what their thoughts and beliefs were about what I was supposed to be or do when I grow up. Mind you, I've always been like the crazy one and the black sheep. I know that nobody out there can identify with that at what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah,
But really being an allowance of that, wow, yeah, I am different. I am different. Like, having kids not appeal to me at all in these 10 seconds. And like, getting married does not appeal to me at all in these 10 seconds. And who knows, maybe I'll make a different choice later. But having the space to choose what works for me, wow, that's just amazing. How does it get better than that, you know?
How does it? Yeah, and it's so funny. I mean, you know, I'm going through a divorce and I never, I mean, you know, people always say, well, when I got married, I didn't think I was going to, but I never considered how moment by moment relationships are until I actually went through the divorce. And I'm like, wow, this does not invalidate everything I went through with my ex-husband. It simply means that something changed and we're making different choices. So there's actually nothing wrong. And it's been really cool to be able to say there is nothing wrong here. It's simply we're making a different choice. So that gives us so much more space and freedom to choose whatever we want to choose next. And you know, we're both parents to two little girls, so it allows us to have ease in co-parenting and, you know, supporting each other in different ways. So the choice and the fact that a choice changes rapidly, so dynamically, because we change so rapidly, that to have that awareness allows me to not make much wrong, including not making me wrong, right?
Yeah.
Because we're so good at that. We're so fantastic at making ourselves wrong. Oh my God.
I should get a prize for that.
No, I should get the prize.
I'll give you the prize, and then you give me the prize, and we'll both have the prize for making ourselves the wrongest, the mostest.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, what? Okay. So we chose to do this conversation because we are about to facilitate 4 days of classes called Access Foundation and Level 1. And you mentioned that in Foundation Level 1, we look at what people's reality is currently. So like what they're choosing right now and whose is it? Is it theirs and is it somebody else's? What else do we do in Foundation Level 1? Oh, yeah. We unplug people from the reality, right? So this is the reality, and
what else?
Here's where you could go. And what if this reality was actually not real? So, so one of the things that I love about Access is that we include the body In every class, there's a piece with the body. In foundation level 1, we actually facilitate 4 body processes. We learn 4 body processes. And what's really great is that not only do you learn mentally or spiritually or emotionally all the things that you could choose differently or how you've been functioning, but you also allow your body to start functioning differently. So I remember after my first foundation level 1, I was like, what do I want to wear today? What do I want to eat? Like, it was just so different. So different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your favorite tool?
I have so many.
Yeah.
And I love where you're going with the bodies, because this was something that was kind of a like surprise to me. Because the inclusion of the body in the journey of consciousness is huge, and the body processes that we do introduce in foundation level 1 are amazing. And you sort of start getting a sense of the consciousness and awareness that your body has, and the consciousness and awareness that you as the being have. And that sometimes you may not agree. I want to wear this shirt, but my body would like to wear this other shirt. And being an allowance of what your body would like to have, and how that can create so much more for you. And that has been absolutely, it's just been amazing to really get in tune and in communion with my body, and what it is that my body would like to eat, and what it is that my body would like to wear, and what it is that who my body would like to have sex with, and what kind of movement would my body like to do today. And it's just, that has been an amazing, amazing sort of discovery in my journey of access consciousness, is the inclusion of the body. And
also like when people are looking for money or opportunities or things like this, I always say, did you ask your body? Did you ask your body where to go to make money or receive money? Did you ask your body where to go to meet people? Because your body knows, right? Your body is totally tapped into the possibilities, and is happy to tell you where to go, where to turn, who to talk to, and it's just so fascinating to me to be able to include that.
Yeah, and also, like, as an infinite being, would you need clothes? Would you need to eat? Would you need to move? No, you're infinite. So all of that stuff has to do with your body. So wouldn't you like to include your body in that conversation? Since it's for your body anyway. If you, as an infinite being, would you even need money? Would you need a house to live in? No, you'd be an infinite being, just like, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be everywhere. So all of those things are all about the body, and opening up that communion and that conversation with the body is really something that's been really transformative and life-changing for me.
I don't know if I'm seeing you. Okay, here you are. You're back. Yay!
I'm here.
Yes. And I'm super grateful to my body. Recently, I actually asked my body, like, who my body wanted to play with, in bed. And I invited my body to bring people on, and the people that showed up are people that are, hold on, the people that, you're cool, okay, the people that I would have never picked mentally if I had not listened to my body, and it's so much more fun, because the body is the one that wants to have sex. The body is the one that wants to hug and touch and discover and all of that. So it's been a really cool experience, and it has also created more possibilities for me. I'm going back to stand-up comedy. I'm doing stand-up comedy again, and it's really wonderful to be able to play with my body on stage, and
Oh,
people love it. They're like, oh my gosh, she keeps touching herself, she keeps moving, and and it's so much fun. It adds another layer for me
yeah,
to play with, and it's not just about the joke. It's all of it. So
totally.
I feel like I could fly.
That's so funny because I was just telling someone the other day, I've created pole dancing for consciousness.
Yes.
And when the women come to the class, I'm like, what if you just touched yourself? I'm always like, can you just touch yourself, touch your skin, caress your body? Like, it feels so good. And if you won't touch yourself, damn it, who will?
Well,
So including your body in all of the conversations that have anything to do with your body. And one of my favorite body processes that we'll be doing in Foundation Level 1 is the biomimetic mimicry body process.
yes.
And, our bodies are so amazing. They're so amazing. They have so much intelligence. And when we look at something in this reality that's just like get it, and we're like, how is this possible? How would this person like choose this or whatever? Our bodies are like, oh, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'll help you with that. I'll show you. So then your body has this amazing ability of like locking it in so that you could try to understand it. And so one of the body processes in Foundation Level 1, which was actually just added recently, thank you, Gary Douglas, is that it starts to unlock all of that so that, again, you can have your own reality with your body, not all the things that are like projected on it or, that we're trying to understand about this crazy reality that we've chosen to create. So that's definitely one of my favorite, and that's a little snippet of what's coming up.
Yeah. So it's like a little example for me, biomimetic mimicry. My mother and I. So I look at my mother, and I see that my body started resembling her body, and she's made choices with her body that don't necessarily want to choose. So I was looking at that, and I'm like, what is it going to take for me to choose something different? But I realized that it was actually my body telling me how my mother was functioning. So when I started doing biomimetic mimicry, right away, my body started shifting those parts that resembled my mother so much. And with total allowance for all of it. So it's not that one is better than the other one, but it started really giving me another choice that even though I wanted to choose, the body was still showing me something that, okay, I get it now, let's do something different. So I'm really grateful for this biomimetic mimicry process. And you and I, we have done a lot of other modalities before we started Access. And I know that a lot of times it's frustrating for people because they do so much work, spiritual, mental, emotional, and things don't change. With Access, what I got is that they don't change until you include the body. The body is the one that locks it in. So for you to have the consciousness that you wish to have, or the fun and the possibilities, you have to allow your body, right?
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. And, I have been doing a lot of different modalities for a long time. And there were things that I just was not able to change in a lot of those different modalities. And the tools of Access and the body processes are finally like creating the space for me to change those things that had been like such a huge deal, for most of my life. So it's like I studied all of these modalities and I was doing all these different things, and I just kept asking, like, what else is out there? Because this is like not going as fast as I would like it to go. This is not as easy as I think it should be, And then when I started asking that question, then I ended up in Access classes, and I was like, oh my gosh, wow, okay, that next thing, that sort of, for me, that next level, that like next place of just like growth and change and embodying everything that I know is possible and having everything that I know is possible. Like, I just know, and I feel as if like I finally have the tools to create all of that, to let go of all of, you know, the things that were holding me back before. And
Yeah.
it's really,
Yeah, and foundation level 1 to me are like the manual we should have been given when we were born
yeah.
to understand how this really works, and you know, and all the possibilities. And okay, so one of my favorite tools in Access is called the 920s, and it's basically the abilities and talents that we truly have and be every day but don't acknowledge, because we've been told as kids that it's not possible, or only certain people can do that, or you have to work hard for it, right? So when I discovered the 920s, which, you know, the joke is that they're not transsexual people, uh, finally she's going to acknowledge herself, she's going to know what, you know, what she's really truly capable of. So it's been absolutely phenomenal to just say, oh, I did that, cool. You know, we were talking earlier about, oh, I created that, oh, I chose that, and also, like, you know, you cross the street and the car stops for you, you created that. That's a talent and ability, because the car could totally have gone through, you know, all of that. So starting to acknowledge all of that allows me to create even more, allows me to have those miracles show up.
Totally.
You know that I'm in the process of buying a house, and I live in Los Angeles, so it's a very challenging market. There's not a lot of nice houses, and I got a really, really nice house in a really, really nice neighborhood, and it's the kind of house that everybody wants. I mean, it was on those 6 days, you know, and it's so funny because when I went through the process of making an offer, I kind of knew this was my house. Like, I just talked to the house, and I'm like, oh, you're my house, I recognize you. Like, there was this ease with it that I didn't have with any of the other houses that I you know, had seen. But there was this ease because I knew that there was an energy there. There was like an acknowledgement, both from me and from the house, that this was, like, you know, we would do things together, at least for this 10 seconds. Like, we're supposed to work together. So it's really cool to start acknowledging everything that we're capable of, and to see what else shows up, and what else shows up, and what else shows up.
Yes, yes. Awesome, awesome.
Wow. Okay. So, do you want to add anything, or should we just start wrapping up?
Yeah, I think. Is there anything?
So it's actually a lot easier than we think it is.
Yeah.
And for me to create my own reality, what I had to start doing was to stop making anything wrong. So my favorite question is, what is right about this that I'm not seeing? Or what is right about me that I'm not seeing?
Or what's magical about this I'm not getting? I love that one, because I like magic. What's magical about this I'm not getting?
Exactly. So asking those questions actually invites the universe to show us what other magic we can create. So it is a lot easier than we think it is. And
yeah,
if you like it hard.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also part of sort of the lies of this reality, is that it has to be challenging. You know, like, what do they say? If it's too easy, it's too good to be true, or something like that. Do you know what that saying is?
Too good to be
having
true.
a moment. Yes, and really, I mean, I have found, especially using the tools, that if you follow the energy that it is easy, it is joyful, and that those are all absolutely also choices, you know. I love what you were saying about the house, like the energy just wasn't there, and then once you found, you know, the house and there was like a mutual like yes, that it just opened up and everything was created with total ease. And
Yeah.
I love that, you know, following the energy of anything and choosing based on the energy, you know, is this light for you? Is this heavy for you? That's also one of my favorite tools from the classes, and it really helps to um, facilitate you in really starting to perceive energy and really starting to perceive everything that you're capable of perceiving as an infinite being. So yeah, that's it.
All right. So, how to get more of that? So,
Yeah.
if you'd like to get more of that, like Patty and I, 4 days of Patty and I talking about everything, including sex, because we like it. So, if you want more of that, October 3rd through the 6th in Los Angeles, we will be having Foundation and Level 1. The prerequisites are to have taken the bars class, which the amazing Patty is also facilitating this Sunday. If you would like to go there, we will also post all the links to those on the YouTube page where this is and the event page. But I'm really grateful for this conversation. I think it came at a perfect time. I spent about 6 months in an office with no windows, and I started going crazy a little bit. So I'm really excited to have you in my life, Patty. I'm just excited to have somebody that always invites me to have more. So thank you.
Thank you, Sophie. And I just want to throw a question out there for everyone that's watching. What would your life be like if you chose this class for you? What would your life be like in 5 years if you chose this class? And is that light for you? And if, you know, honestly, this class or any other Access class, like what would your life be like if you started using the tools of Access Consciousness to unlock yourself, free yourself from this reality, and start creating your own reality? So please, I hope that, you know, we've been the invitation for Access Consciousness in general. There's tons of facilitators. Choose our class or choose another. And what contribution can we all be to consciousness? So just wanted to throw those questions out there.
Woohoo! Sounds good to me. All right. Well, thank you so much for this time, and thank you to all of you who were watching. I see a couple of people were watching, so thank you, and please contact us. So to contact you, Patty, it's Patty, what is it? Patty Alfonso? No, your email. What is it?
PattyAlfonsoHealer@gmail.com.
Right.
Or poledancingforconsciousness.com. Either way, I'm there.
And I am Sophie, Sophie.Mihalko, Mihalko @gmail.com. And thank you all so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful night wherever you are. Please be in touch. And what else is possible? Mwah!
How does it get better than this?
Bye-bye.